back to yet another Plasticon review. In this series of reviews, we are going to review Machine Wars. Yes, Machine Wars. Why? Because I have them all. Anyhow, we're going to break over to the table and check them out. Last, but definitely not least, is Megatron. Megatron is also an F-22 Raptor, with this crazy fade scheme going on here in the back. This odd-looking teal, it looks really cool. Fold up the landing gear. And fold down the head. And then you have Megatron in his robot mode. Got a very decent head sculpt. It's identical to Megaplex. Well, you'd think since he's the Decepticon leader, he would actually get more paint apps, but no, they didn't do that to him this time. It looks really cool though. He's got a very nice scheme here. This is a nice kind of a pearlish gray. It's not really a white, it's more of a gray, which is very cool. With this nice silver canopy sticking out and the silver eyes. Lots of detail, very well done. He also has Master Cannon. Blaster cannon consists of a barrel and the gun. Very cool looking gun. Very nice. Very Megatronish. Sadly, you cannot put the gun on his shoulder, although we would like to. I mean, it really won't fit into this slot very well. But he can successfully hold his own gun. He is definitely one of the coolest of the group. I do like this one quite a bit, just because it is Megatron, and he's got a nice stance to him. He really pulls it off very well. Today we are covering Megaplex. You guys are very familiar with the BotCon version. Well, this is the original version. It's got these really interesting looking stripes. This is a F-22 Raptor. There's a lot of detail. It's not too bad. Lots of sculpted detail throughout the entire thing. Looks very cool. It does have these odd looking symbols on the wings, and obviously the robot kibble underneath. Simple transformation, just like Skywarp and Thundercracker. Fold up two little landing gear, fold up that landing gear, push down on this bit, and then folds up. Also, another little added detail is the way they did this. This is totally different compared to the other two robots we covered before. But fold them out like this, it looks pretty cool. It does have these large looking things here sticking off the back, but it really adds a lot of depth to him. His head sculpt is very interesting though. It's very Megatronish. It looks really cool. It's got a lot of detail in there too. This is the one in the group that actually has most of the detail added to it, which is kind of odd. He does have the weapon storage in the back, just like the other two. There is Machine Wars Megaplex. Continuing on with our jets, we have Thundercracker. Very, very cool looking jet. Absolutely love the deco here. He is yet another Eurofighter, just like Skywarp. Very same mold. Nothing's changed. A little less detail here on the back, but very, very cool indeed. Does have still the robot kill. Transformation is simple. Flip up the landing gear, and then pull down the nose. And there you go. There he is in his robot mode. Thundercracker actually looks kind of cool with these colors. He's got a really, really nice green here, built in with the dark, with this, it's almost a dark brown. Kinda has a slight maroon hue to it, and also he's got a really nice looking head sculpt. I do like the head sculpt, although it was designed for light piping, but we never saw it on this line. Very cool looking robot indeed. Still has the same kind of articulation as Skywarp, and just looks really, really cool. Starting out with Skywarp. Skywarp is a white Eurofighter. Very, very cool looking jet. Has lots of sculpted detail, lots of panel lines, and looks very, very, very good. The colors are a bit odd, especially for Skywarp, but it does work. He does have some thruster detail. He's actually not too bad. The thing that cracks me up is he's got a G2 emblem here. It's very odd. But yeah, the sculpting on it's pretty spot on. It does have these odd looking emblems here on both sides, and also a really, really strange looking emblem there. It does have a very, very simple transformation though. It's not too bad. Got a lot of robot kibble in here though. But the transformation on this guy is simply flip the head down. There you go. There he is. He is transformed. Only thing you have to do now is move his little hands up, and these are all on ball joints, so he does have quite a bit of movement. It's a very cool looking robot. It's got a lot of articulation, some decent detail, and looks really good. The other thing he happens to have is weapon storage built into the back of his legs. All you do is simply pull the bits out of the back of the legs, and then simply put them back together. It's a very cool way of storing a very large assault rifle, especially for this little guy. It does look really neat in his hands. He is able to hold it with both, which is kind of cool. So you can put him in some pretty cool poses like this. So he's a very, very, very stable robot. Not bad. Kind of silly on the gimmick and the transformation, but this is Machine Wars for you. Moving on to the largest secret of the group, we have Starcream. Starcream is a very, very, very large jet. I would say this is almost a prototype version of the SR-71 Blackbird. It's a very, very, very cool aesthetic. This mold has been around for a long time as well. This mold was used previously in a little line in Europe called the Pretenders line. This little line in Europe is very, very, very cool. It actually consists of several different jets which were not in Machine Wars at all. This line is actually a very, very, very cool line if you can actually get into it. Anyhow, moving on from the craziness here, all the detail he has. Lots of detail. Very large cockpit. This big menacing mouth. Has some nice caution details there. Moving on down it, lots of molded detail. And a big, gigantic Decepticon emblem right in front of your face. There's very cool lines coming down the sides of the wings. This is almost a kind of a gray color going throughout here. Detailed here for the lights that would be on the tips of the wings of the jet on both sides. He also has these really cool looking thrusters. And he also has a scope of depth. You're looking down the barrel of the targeting system on this thing. Sadly, the targeting system on this thing was gutted for this line. There used to be a little window that would fold down, but you'll see that in a future review for me. Anyhow, this guy's a very, very, very awesome piece of work. He is by far one of the coolest looking jets in the entire line. It holds together very, very well, and it does not fall apart in your hands when you're playing with it. He also has a silly little gimmick. You can take the little missiles off and then place them into the bomb bay. But when you do this, you rotate this wheel on the back. When you do that, it locks him in place. Hence, bombing action. Starscream also has several other places that you can place the missiles. You can actually put them here. You can place them here. And obviously the bomb bay. When it comes to Starscream's transformation, it's very simple. First thing you're going to do is you're going to fold in his rolling landing gear. You're going to split the nose. Keep in mind, when you pull the nose apart, it does have two little slots where the wings tuck into the nose. Next thing is you're going to fold up this window, flip this back, and also flip down the two tail fins. Moving on, you're going to move these two wings back. Then grab the entire front of the plane and fold it down. Click it into place. Then you're going to split it in between the cockpit. Reach around the back and then fold out the heels. After doing that, fold down the feet. Grab the arm area, pull it down, and then out. Then you're going to flip down his chest portion to reveal the head sculpt. Close the chest back and around on the back. Fold down his visor. As for Starscream's stance, he actually has a very, very, very large stance. Next to his counterparts, he looks really, really, really cool. Although he is very large in stature, he is still one of the coolest in this entire line, and is highly recommended to anybody that collects these guys. Covering the last one of our line is Soundwave. This is Machine Wars Soundwave. He is a very, very large communications rocket launching vehicle. He does have capability of raising and lowering his rocket. He also has a rotating satellite. And he does have small, little, teeny, tiny rolling wheels. As for detail though, if you look underneath, you really don't see much of a robot mode. It's very well tucked away. The sculpting and detail on this thing is absolutely superb. It's a very interesting paint scheme though. He does have this weathered look which is almost a camo, which looks kind of cool, yet it looks kind of odd. He also has the same gimmick that Starscream had, with the gigantic lens where you're supposed to look through, and then all of a sudden you see something flip down, but it actually doesn't. All you can see is my finger in there, mainly because this is where the lens thing would pop in when this thing was part of the Predator's line. Yes, I said the Predator's line. This particular mold was also in the Predator's line. That's why it has the same gimmicks that Starscream has. It's a very, very cool looking vehicle nonetheless. Has a lot of detail, and it's not too bad. Going into transformation, first thing you're going to do is remove the rocket, flip open the panels, grab the whole front of the tank and pull it out. Close the panels, rotate the rear portion of the tank, fold up the arms, fold the arms down, rotate at the waist, push back the entire launching mechanism, reveal the head, reinsert the rocket. As for Machine Wars Soundwave, he actually looks very, very cool. He has a really nice looking sculpt, and he has a very, very decent looking color scheme. With the large rocket being on his shoulder, it really doesn't look too bad. It looks as if he is more or less a recon. And the blue light piping works superb on this entire line. The entire group as a whole looks very, very awesome. It actually has a very nice looking aesthetic, and they work out very, very superbly throughout the entire line, with it being consisting of 5 jets and 1 gigantic vehicle that is for ground recon. You can understand why this line actually works together. So, onto my final thoughts for the entire line. Personally, I believe this line is one of the most underrated lines that have been in the Transformers universe. It's really cool that BotCon decided to go through and do a whole homage to the whole Generation 2 and Machine Wars line. And personally, I believe these things are still highly collectible. Now, if you guys don't really prefer these kind of transformations, I completely understand. But you do have to admit, it's a very cool line, and it's brought on some really cool kibble. Anyhow, this has been Plasticon, and this has been yet another review, and this is me signing off. Peace out, you guys.